Okay, y'all, welcome back. We're going to put the harmonic balancer on this 350 engine, and before I put it on there, I'm going to put, this is grease, it's your basic SDP premium grease, high temp it says. I'm going to put it on the end of the harmonic balancer, the part that goes in, and then of course the inside, to keep it from seizing up while we're putting it on there. Alright, now I'm hoping you can see this. Right there is a key, okay? And the way this harmonic balancer goes on, there's a key channel inside the harmonic balancer, and that fits into that key there. So let's go ahead and get it started on there. Started on there, and now we'll get our tool to advance that harmonic balancer onto the engine. Again, this is a 7/16 bolt on the end of this tool, and the way this works is this threads into the crankshaft, and then you got to turn this bolt here to press the harmonic balancer on. Now again, if you can see that, if you can focus on it, there is a bearing. This is a bearing. You see the inside of that turning. You want that against the nut, so that nut has something to turn against without binding itself. Now what I'm going to do, this is anti-seize lubricant. I'm going to put on this bolt that goes into the crankshaft to keep us from having any trouble there. I don't know if y'all have ever used this stuff, but this stuff makes a huge mess, so be careful with it if you're using it, because it gets everywhere and it sticks to everything. But hopefully it'll keep us from having any trouble with getting this piece out if we run into trouble putting it on. Now this gets threaded into the crankshaft like so, to where it bottoms out, and there it's bottomed out. Now you take this nut and run that in. And y'all might not have noticed, but I'm not Superman, so I can't turn it all around by hand. So what we do have is this jumbo wrench, 1.25 inches. You'll have to turn that big nut. Now, I think this is the 9/16. Just snug that first. I should have done that before I tighten that nut. Anyway, snug this thing up. We're bottomed out against it now. And then start the fun process that will press the harmonic balancer onto the engine. Believe we have arrived. So now take our 9/16 wrench, actually first loosen that nut. Loosen that nut. And then take our 9/16 wrench, snap back up, bring it out of there. And there it is. And I'm just going to measure real quick with our screwdriver. That's about an inch. Inch exactly. So there is our harmonic balancer installed. The next thing we have to do is put on that cover I showed you at the beginning of the first video. It has the marks on it, and install the pulley that drives the alternator and water pump and all that business. Power steering. Install that all at once, but we're going to change positions to do all that, so I'll be right back. Okay, we got the harmonic balancer on now. This is the cover for the harmonic balancer. That's got the degree marks on it that I wanted. You've got to put this on in the same way that this key, I hope you can see that, the key slot lines up there on that bolt hole. You can see here that key slot points at the same bolt hole. You put it on there and line that up so you'll be lined up correctly on top dead center once you get everything bolted in. And this is a tight fit, gang. So as long as you have your keyway lined up with the bolt holes, you should be alright. Now, what I don't know, and we're going to find out, I got to put the pulley on this dude. And I think what I'm going to try to do is run the pulley center bolt partially in first, just so I don't have to try and hold it up, because I'm having a hard time reaching. And this doesn't have to be lined up with any keyway, it just has to be lined up with the 3 bolt holes. But as it stands, I'm going to reposition myself in order to get that bolt in the hole, because I can only reach in with one hand. Okay, off camera I had to have help from the top to get this lined up, because it's kind of awkward getting that lined up with that cover on it, because the cover kept moving with the pulley. But if you're doing it by yourself, good luck. But if you're not, if you got a helper, it's a lot easier if you can get somebody to hold this from the top while you line up this bolt, the center bolt. That bolt is not tight. And I don't know if the camera can see this or not, but this washer, and the one that came off wasn't like this, but this washer isn't completely like symmetrical. It's kind of got a little cone shape to it, so it's wider where it meets the pulley. And it's also got a lock washer on it, which is different. The other one didn't. I don't think you have to worry too much about that. But I'm going to put these 3 bolts in the outside. I'm going to pull that back out, that center bolt back out, and put anti-seize on it before I tighten it up. But I wanted to get these 3 pulley bolts in. I know all you can really see is my hand at this moment, but we got to get these 3 bolts started to hold that pulley in place so we can tighten everything back up. Okay, I got those 3 bolts in. I'm going to take this center bolt out, this one here, and I'm going to put anti-seize grease on it as advertised, and it's still got a little bit in that hole from when we ran that harmonic balancer in. Well, I'm gonna put a little more on here so it won't be stuck. Alright, so I'm about to get the torque wrench on that center bolt. There it is, gang. 60 foot-pounds. Okay, we were installing the harmonic balancer. What I should say that I don't think I said about wanting to put that cover over that harmonic balancer is that I bought the cover to go over the harmonic balancer that I had because it was painted over, it was old, and I couldn't see the timing marks. So I got the cover, went to put it on this harmonic balancer. It was so old that it expanded and it wouldn't fit. Okay, just almost fit, but it didn't fit. So I thought, well, with that I would just replace it. So I replaced it with a 6 3/4. The cover slipped right over it. We put that in, and when I went to put the pulley on for the crankshaft, I noticed a couple of things. One is the bolts were kind of short, but then when I started putting them in, they started spinning on the ends, especially when I put the torque wrench on. They're supposed to be torqued to 35 pounds. Well, the top one just started spinning. So I took them out, and what I found was, here you can see this bolt, I think you can see that, where the threads just had been spun off. I hope you can see that. That was the top bolt, the one that just started spinning. That bolt just lost its threads. And the other two were starting to lose threads. Okay, you can see wear on the other two as well. Okay. Now, I took those out. I looked, the other thing I noticed, and I don't know, maybe one of you guys know. If you know, put it in the comments or something. But this bolt, if you can see that, right on the head says 3. I don't know what 3 in the middle of a bolt head means, and I looked up what that might mean. I couldn't find it, so I really don't know what that means. It's got a 3, and it's got these pressed on lock washers, these star washers. I don't know what these are. But what I do know is when I looked up what bolts were supposed to be in there was this bolt, which is a number 8, and you can tell by the 6 hash marks on this bolt that it's a number 8, 1 inch long bolt. Now, so I don't know if this is a number 8, but I guarantee you it's not an inch. Okay, so these are trash, and I went back in with these and torqued those to 35 foot-pounds as what it's called for. Okay, so that's all set up, that's all set. What we're going to do next is put the fan pulley and fan shroud back in, and tighten up the belts. So I'm putting new belts in as well. So stick around and watch how that works. That's what we're doing next.